Yeah, Man United face an anxious wait on the fitness of both Rasmus Højlund and Lenny Yoro after both players limped out of the 2-1 defeat to Arsenal in LA. Højlund last season, mate, I felt for him a little bit as a striker because he wasn't getting a lot of the ball, was he? He wasn't getting... I like him. He's got a lot to offer, but he's got to have a big season this season.
Well, he's a young player. His movement's great, I think. He can obviously finish. And he wants to play for Man United, and you can see it in his face and the way he plays. You can see the same in Garnacho. You know, Mainu wants to play, and the club's going to be built around them three, really, I think. You know, and they get some experienced players in. There's still probably 7 players they need to get out. Wan-Bissaka, in my opinion, I would go Casemiro, Eriksen, Antony, Rashford, Lindelof, Maguire. There's still players to get out the club for me.
Would you get rid of Maguire?
Not good enough.
Well, it's Varane.
This is Man United we're talking about. Man United are arguably the biggest club in the world. They pay the most money. They can have whoever they want. And if you play for Manchester United, you've got to be one of the best players in the world in your position.
Yeah.
One of the best. You don't sign for Man United if you bang average, really. You're lucky if you do.
Well, over the last few years, a lot of bang average players have signed for Man United.
They've signed a lot of players who've gone into a wrong environment because the attitude has been wrong at the club. It spreads through the camp quickly. The attitude of just picking your wages up. And a lot of good players have gone into Man United and just not made it, have they? Like, you know, Di Maria. There's players who have great reputations come in and can't produce. And Højlund's walked into that. So that's why I felt a bit sorry for him. He's walked into an atmosphere which is not good. You know, they weren't playing well enough.
But they got, like, if you've got a player like Højlund playing up front for you, you've got to change your way you play to get the best out of him. You know, you need to get crosses in the box. You need to, you know, look for players running over the shoulder to get him in early balls.
Yeah.
But there was so many times when Rashford would get the ball, he'd just go on his own mazy trying to score on his own. Antony constantly coming inside. And as a striker, I mean, you've played up front then. You got wingers constantly coming inside, wants to have a shot. In the end, you're going to go, well, I'm going to stop running.
We'd end up fighting. Like Antony, I'd end up fighting with him because I know I'm going to end up on the bench. If you keep coming inside and shooting with your left foot, I'm not making one more run. So all I want you to do is get half a yard on the fullback and whip it round the fullback as early as possible. All I need to know from the wingers, Rashford and Antony, I would say to them before we went out, all I need to know from you is you are going to cross that ball at the earliest opportunity you can get. You don't have to beat someone. If you can whip it round them early, I will get to that ball first. You put it in that zone of corridor of uncertainty, I'll get there first.
But do you think the game's changed, though? It's inside forwards now, Dean. You know...
Yeah, like Salah and Mane are classic examples of players who come in field and do both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
as a striker, the way you used to play, like how you know, say, get to the byline, crosses in the box, them days really as a striker have changed, haven't they? You've got to, they've had to adapt. The number 9 role now is a different role to what it used to be. Yeah,
but they're gonna have to open the coaching book up again soon because 4-4-2 is coming. It'll come back. They go in cycles.
A lot of teams played 4-4-2 last seaon.
Yeah, but the strikers need coaching. Like you're gonna have to coach Harry Kane, believe it or not, into play with a partner because. When you play with a partner, you are what it says. You are partners. So one goes short, one goes long, one goes near post, one goes far post.
Yeah.
You know, you link up with each other. Andy Cole, Dwight York type things. But they're not coached that anymore. They're like lone wolves. They're on their own. You float in between 2 centre backs, trying to get half a yard somewhere. But your Bellinghams of this world and Mounts and Lampards and the players who get into the box late. You need them running past you. If you're up there on your own and no one ever runs past you, you're playing against 2 centre-backs for 90 minutes. One of them gets tight, the other one covers. But if they've got distractions, there's other players running into the box.
Yeah.
You know, under Leeds, for example, under Bielsa, they get 6 players in the box. So Bamford ends up scoring loads of goals because the defenders get distracted.
Yeah.
So Højlund, for example, we go back to him. Who's getting in the box? Fernandes tries to get there. But who's getting past him, distracting the other centre-half? So he's 1v1. And as I said, I'd be fighting with Antony and Rashford. Like, if you keep putting in the top corner, fair enough. But when you come inside on your left foot and you have 150 shots and only one of them goes in, you know, change your tactics. Start going outside people and crossing it for me.
I've got a massive thing with Manchester United in terms of how Ten Hag starts the season. He's got to start the season well. Otherwise, I think he's going to come under serious pressure. I know he's won trophies. I know Manchester United fans want him there. But if they continue to play the way they did in the Premier League like they did last season, there's no way he lasts until Christmas. No way.
No. Well, winning the cup kept his job, didn't he? He was on his way out. I mean, you look at the people coming in, the new owners. They've cleared everybody out apart from the manager. There's only the manager left. They've cleared everybody else out. He's got Van Nistelrooy in. They've got good players. Not many great players, but they've got good players. And I think it's rebuilding now. As I said, 3 young lads playing with heart and determination. Garnacho, Højlund, Mainu, and then just build the squad around them. At least you can change the culture, because there's too many players there picking their wages up, walking about, turning their back on shots, not closing the wingers down, not tracking back, and then it's somebody else's fault when we lose. Manager gets sacked, another one. So hopefully they have a good start, because I'd like to see Man United up there. They're a great club. Yeah. Instead of talking about Liverpool, Man City and Arsenal winning the league, Man United should be in that conversation as well, but they're not at the moment.
No, they've had a long way off it, aren't they? But I think they'll come back. You can't be one of the biggest club in the world if you don't come back to greatness at some point.
No, they've spent 1.4 billion or something like that, haven't they, since Alex Ferguson left? And
crazy. They're
no further on.
Yeah,
but you're right. It's a massive club. They can pay the wages. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Providing you're a big club and you can pay the wages, you can.
You got to get it right. They can't make mistakes like Sancho, and they can't make any more mistakes.
Well,
the recruitment now is absolutely huge for Manchester United. It has to be right.
Talent without hard work is nothing. So instead of signing talent that you watch on YouTube, study the
watching them on YouTube.
Well, Ed Woodward must have been, because he didn't get one right. So look at the player's character, because when the chips are down and you're not playing well, you need someone who's going to get 7 out of 10 through attitude. Look at Andy Murray and Evans. That's what you need. Hearts like them two.
Yeah.
They can dig a 7 out of 10 from somewhere.
Okay, all right. Loads to talk about. You can have your say on that. 03 717 22 3344. But time now for this. Yeah, listen here, Dino. There's a very special guest host on Tuesday's Drive alongside Gabiag Bonglahor. We want the
talkSPORT breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.